Hi, Dean here with Escape to Gaming. Today is kind of a long overdue video tour of my game room garage, which I've been working on for some time. I had mentioned, oh God, months ago that I was going to do, was anxious to move in and I was going to set up and build the ultimate game room, at least for me. I mean, there's a lot of wonderful game rooms out there and, YouTube videos of some fantastic, elaborate game rooms, which, even Metal Jesus, I mean, I'll never have that, those types of games and that many games or arcade cabinets and all that. I don't even have any arcade cabinets yet. I just recently found one that I want to get. I think it's one of these, these new kind of retro ones that they have on arcades. But I'm anxious to get it going, in time. We've had a lot of challenges. We've had family here recently, so I had to hold off on doing it. I've had this with my back sensitivity issues. I can only do so much per day, so it's just been a very slow process. Thanks to my wife, who's helped me quite a bit, been moving things around and getting things set up. And then when we got the garage initially we set up, it just didn't look quite finished enough, so I had the contractor give us a quote for putting in all new baseboards to match the 10-inch tall baseboards that we have throughout the house, which he did, and that made a huge difference. It really looks a lot more finished. And then afterwards I noticed that the paint was, when the time they get out to the garage, they use an airless, they just kind of put a real light coat on. It's not as heavy as it could have been. It was a little splotchy in a few areas, so I went out and bought a few gallons of paint and basically repainted all by hand, which I shouldn't have been doing in my condition, but, I'm going to do it anyway. So right before the surgery, I repainted the entire garage, including the ceiling, which was a lot of work, considering how much pain I was in. But I want it nice, In fact, there were little imperfections in the wall, little divots, and a couple, drywall screw holes that weren't quite mudded in as good as they could have been. So I put the extra time and care and love into it to pretty much get it dialed in. And I'm glad I did. It really needed to have, get around this guy here. It's nice being out here in the country. It's kind of a nice morning drive. Kids are going to school buses, and I just came back from a physical therapy session. So I'm a little sore, but anxious to get home, and I thought that I would kind of segue this into my game room. That's one of the things that I've done from my channel since 2012 is I've pretty much, I did game reviews initially, and then did a lot of pickup videos and stuff like that. And then later I started doing, the latter part of 2012, I went from reviews to doing more like pickup videos where I'm going to the midnight release of GTA 5 and, the PlayStation 4 midnight release pickup for that. And it's been nice to have, it's been nice to have more driving vlogs. I love doing driving vlogs. Now, I certainly didn't pioneer those, but what I did pioneer, which has been copied since then, is doing driving vlogs and then segueing it into the game room. I'll usually drive and go to pick up a game at GameStop, and then I pre-order, let's say, or go to retro to my old Dimples and come back with some games, and I go, all right, now I'm going to segue this and take it into the game room. That I'm proud to have kind of coined or came up with. And the beauty is now I can really do that. I can actually segue by physically driving into the game room, which is cool. So as a kid in the 60s, I watched all the original 60s Batman TV shows live when they were brand new, when they were on the air. I don't know what nights they were on. My dad would watch it with me, and we'd watch it evenings. It was kind of an adult kind of comic book, TV show, very campy. Recently, I've got them all on Blu-ray, and I've started watching them again. I think I'm in the second season now, and it's just interesting to see how they're very campy and really colorful. I just love the scenes where they drive the Batmobile into the Batcave, and then he immediately goes right to the Bat computer and calculates, his latest clue that he's going to try to unravel. And I just think that's neat. I've always loved that concept of having. There's other movies like with Rutger Hauer did a film back in their very early 80s, which I have a rare DVD of. I have it on VHS too, which is called Wanted Dead or Alive. And he was kind of like a private eye that had a downtown LA, studio apartment, like in a loft in a big warehouse, and he'd drive his Cadillac Seville into the the elevator and drive it up into the warehouse. So I thought that was really cool how you could have that kind of a scenario, and I thought it would be kind of really neat this time around where I've got such a big garage. I don't have the truck anymore, so we only need we've got a 4-car garage, which I can put 2 cars end to end in the third bay. And now that I don't have the truck, I don't need to have that in there. So just the 2 cars, I've got plenty of room for a game room office. So I told my wife, I said, instead of having taken up more of the rooms that we're probably going to need down the road in the house for family, why don't we just have my game room and office out in the garage? And she thought, well, that's a great idea, yeah. So she's been a big supporter of this, and we've gone all out. In fact, I recently bought some, area rugs for it, and we've really gone to great lengths. It already has a really nice, pulling up now to my house. Hit my garage door opener, and I'll pull in here. Oh, these bumps get my back every time. But anyway, I'm going to segue into the game room now. That's the beauty of it, is I can actually drive right into the game room, and which is very novel. So I'll take this rant inside, and I'll show you what I've done. So as I was saying in my driving blog, we did a lot of, adjustments with the garage and had some upgrades in the way of baseboards. And then I took a close look and saw the drywall wasn't where it needed to be. So I spent days just, patching divots and little undulations and creases and block sanding them and getting them perfect and priming them. And I repainted the entire garage, which I probably shouldn't have done in my condition, but it looks nice. I'm glad I did it. And then since then we had some window coverings put in here so I can close the shades and have a little privacy if I want it, which is nice. And painted some accent walls, which you'll see, and lots of little details. I took the time to frame, the posters this time instead of just sticking them up there like last time, and put a little bit more thought and quality into this one. And all my wire management too, I neatly loomed it all in these little channels, which I showed in my house tour earlier, to hide cables and wires behind the TVs and different lights that I have hooked up and set up here. So it's a very clean Sano look, very nice. It's something where it's not a huge collection by any means, and you'll see that, but it's just nice. These are the games that I like. These are my favorite genres and the things that I deem, hanging on to over time in the hopes that I'll get to play them. Will I play all of them? Who knows? Probably not. But at least I have the games that I like, the games I remembered playing back in the day, new games that I could see myself enjoying in the future. And that's what this is all about. Just a neat place to have, to think, to come out here. I can think, I can create, I have all my tools, everything set up. I redid all my metal shelves, which you'll see, and painted them, and bought all matching bins to put all my tools and art supplies and sanders and drills and every tool imaginable, so I can build my art out here. I can work on cars, I can take apart gaming consoles, whatever I need to do. Take my VCR apart and clean the heads. This is the perfect place for everything. So that's what this is all about. Is just a quick tour video to show you everything that I've worked on. It's a new space for me. It's a new place that I can come out to, kind of a sanctuary where I can, come out of the house. My wife's on the phone right now. We're trying to get our parents to move here, so they've been here quite a bit. They're calling constantly. We got realtors we're talking to last night on the phone for hours, so it's been very challenging to get any gaming in, because I played a little Mafia, the Mafia reboot last night, and then a realtor called, and I ended up freezing that and pausing it, and then I just said, fuck it, and I'll just get back to it tomorrow. So we get a lot going on, but this provides a nice place for me to get out of the house, come in here. I got a wonderful office desk. I can game from my desk. Now that I can sit like a human being again, I can actually game and enjoy it.
And so a lot of neat things, and I put a lot of thought into this, and I think that will be reflected in this tour video. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so here we go. This is pretty much from the back main garage door, looking towards it. Now we have some cabinets that we ordered and we're going to have made for the house, and so you'll see some boxes in the corners and the back wall. And I've got a lot of artwork that I've been working on. I've got covered up with blankets because I've got it kind of in secret until I finish some of the pieces, and some holiday bins that we've got stored against the back wall. So we were hoping to get the cabinets done before doing this tour video, but it didn't happen. Now the guy's backed up for a couple more months. We may just go to Costco.com or Home Depot and just buy some pre-made cabinets, which I'll assemble or put together on that back wall, either in the back corner and between these two doors, and that way we can get rid of all the crap. But other than that, we want everything put away. These are my metal shelves that I've had since 1995, and they got pretty damaged and scratched up when we moved here, so I sanded them all down lovingly and then reshot them again with a gunmetal Rust-Oleum, and built in my little mini fridge at the end, and had it kind of go around the windows, and so I got a little work table and what have you, and all my bins in here are for all my tools, art supplies, extension cords, cables, extra parts for consoles. I mean, just you name it. Everything is in here. I have a little correlating list that goes with all this stuff. This is pretty much, you can see my Corvette painting I used to do. I've done 24 of these, so a series of automotive art of famous muscle cars and 57 Chevys and Corvettes and what have you. And this is the last one I've got left, a 2010 Grand Sport Sportster. So I put that up there and put some of my old beer signs up, which I've had, put away for a while. I had some of these in my other garage. My other garage was just packed. I had no room in the other game room, no room in here. I've got a lot of my original, movie art from some of my favorite movies, like Touch of Evil with Orson Welles. And I got a lot of other kind of car-related, pictures and tins and old beer signs I've had since the late 90s. And of course, being the caveman that I am, I had to have my hero, Fred Flintstone. So I got a good old Fred and a thermometer and a clock up here. So you can kind of see everything I have. We have a console. We didn't have any room for this inside the house. We decided to put it out here. Now this, I can open and close this garage door if I need to, but I've got my one of my two Sega Genesises, and then I've got one of my two fat PlayStation 1s out here on display. And over here I've got just an area rug I put down here. I've got an extra chair. These are real comfortable little chairs that we can take outdoors or have them indoors, but we love them in here. And there's my little rolling cart that I usually use for my Escape to Gaming set. This is the new retro decal I get for my Xbox One X. I just put this on last night. Really came out nice. I saw Metal Jesus had one of these, and I had to have one. They've got a Halo green one too, and it's a decal kit that you can put on your Xbox One X and make it look like an original Xbox. It's a beautiful thing. I get the biggest kick out of this. I sent all my friends pic text of it last night because I got such a kick out of it. This is a Mafia poster that I've had laying out flat out here, trying to get the wrinkles out of it, because I'm going to frame that and hang that up out here. And I've been enjoying this new Mafia. I played this a couple times, a fantastic game. I'm going to be doing my impressions of this. This is amazing, could be my game of the year, very impressive. I also have the definitive edition of Mafia 2 installed, and I already had the loaded deluxe edition of Mafia 3, which has all the DLC. I'll show you a couple quick pickups. I got this gear. I just got this, already had the rare replay, but I got it for the Gears of War remastered, the first one. Man, does it look good. It's an unbelievable remaster, a must-have for the Xbox One. I did some research. Instead of Forza 7, I actually found that the graphics are even better on Forza 6. And I like the menus better, and it doesn't have the really crazy drive-atar action that you can't adjust as much in 7. So this was the choice for me, Forza 6. An amazing game, really loving this. I got this Journey of the Savage Planet. I get like a deal at GameStop, get 2, get 1 free. So this is one of the ones I got free, Journey of the Savage Planet. Looks really good, a lot of verticality and really fun platforming, and some really obnoxious humor, kind of like in the RoboCop movie. And The Walking Dead Telltale, I was delighted to find this. I already have the Season 1 and 2 of on the Xbox 360, but this is all of them remastered. I don't know that they really look much better. In some places they do, in some places they don't. but it's nice to have all of them. I wasn't even aware of some of the other episodes, so those are some recent game pickups anyway. And so you can see that I've got plenty of room out here. I mean, we're going to get an exercise bike and put it on this mat. My wife has her new Bowflex thing out here. Really works you out pretty good. So she can come out here and we can crank tunes. I got my ghetto blaster on. I turn the volume down so I don't get copyrighted. I've got a little box with all my memory cards in here, including, I've even got a rare Xbox One. And these are all tons of games that I've had over the years. And then I've got some special ones that are designed for the modded PlayStation 2 as well. And a thumb drive in there and everything. So that's where I keep all of my little, my memory cards pretty much. And then I have a 1950 Westinghouse radio, which I've got Arnie, or should I say Dutch from Predator, guarding it. My Galaxy S20 new phone that I bought. I've got my Stormtrooper Diet Pepsi and a little Shelby Cobra up here, reminiscent of the Ford versus Ferrari films. Of course, I had to put on my new Gears, came with some Gears stickers. So I put some Gears of War window stickers naturally. I got my little main village that I had in my other office. I've got a little mini fridge that I had from before. I've got my compressor for doing my airbrushing on my paintings or for pumping up my tires, what have you. But these bins are really nicely laid out. Really thrilled to have these. It came out nice. I even primered and painted all these boards with one coat of primer on both sides, 2 coats of enamel, so that way instead of the raw wood that was all fading and looking pretty shitty, they're nicely painted gray. I've got a little mini fridge. My father-in-law loves Dr. Pepper, so I stocked it with Dr. Pepper. I've got orange juice and milk and sometimes Diet Pepsi out here, so I keep extra sodas out here, what have you. This is my Escape to Gaming set, which originally was comprised of these 3 shelves, which were kind of a satin black, and I painted them gray instead, kind of to soften the contrast, and kind of a new theme in here, lots of grays and softer grays. I have kind of a lavender border I painted around this wall here, which correlates with my new accent wall, which you'll see down at the end down there. But yeah, so I've got all my shelves, and this is my autograph, James Doohan, the original Star Trek series autograph picture from Scotty that signed it. And then I've got, a couple of collectibles, my Twisted Metal little doll down here, and this is a Betty Boop cutout that I did. And one of my viewers sent in this wonderful thing for my wife of a little Betty Boop and Puggy, the little dog. And I got the Christine, 57 Plymouth. I've got Yoda that'll actually answer frightening yes and no questions with the uncanny accuracy. I've got a very expensive Sideshow collectibles. This will probably be the only one I'll ever be able to afford. Now they're worth a fortune. I'm glad I bought this. I had to pre-order this a year in advance. I had to have this naturally for my Escape to Gaming set, as I'm a huge Sharon Carpenter fan. And I've got kind of a modest little tall box collection going of PlayStation 1 games. And my Gremlins and some Hot Wheels, and this is a little squeeze toy that came with my, what the hell was it? My Destroy All Humans, reboot. That's another great reboot, along with a Mafia one, fantastic. And I got my Miami Vice, Crockett and Tubbs, action figures here. They have different guns, and there's an alligator, and Elvis with his favorite blanket. It comes with a lot of accessories, but I got those put away. And I've got my, Far Cry 4 deal, my Sniper Elite 3, ammo tin. Came with a bunch of stuff. My wonderful Aliens Colonial Marines little statuette, or Rage 2 boomerang. Came with that VHS little box set thing. My holy grail of Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy, thanks to my good friend Jeremy. Hooked me up with that early on. And these are some rare kind of 70s, Trans Am series muscle cars that were real prevalent in the 70s. And then I've got my Doom Eternal little, pre-ordered lunchbox. And then a wonderful gift from Cameron, the Industrial Gamer, sent me this fantastic Doom statuette that's just wonderful. I love this thing to death. It's fantastic. Got an autographed Robert De Niro picture from the movie Heat. I had to have that. I cherish that. I got that when I worked in the movie studios. Original classic game room sticker down there. A good friend of mine up in Oregon who was an airborne ranger, does a lot of really cool cartoons of cars and caricatures, and did this kind of an airborne ranger. this kind of sums up my alter ego of playing FPS games. You know, I love the violence and the action, and this really sums it up. So this is kind of my new little backdrop wall. I got another very comfortable chair here to sit in, and I got my Roadkill 2003. I got for pre-ordering Roadkill for the PlayStation 2. They sent me this. I didn't even know that. It was a nice little bonus. I used to have that on my Ford Bronco that was lifted. And I've got this wonderful James Stewart rear window, you know, Alfred Hitchcock poster up here. One of my favorite bogey movies, Dark Passage. This is an original drawing I did in 1982 of Mel Gibson from The Road Warrior. And this came from Australia. This is a very rare, very expensive original movie poster for the movie The Car that I had matted and framed with, of course, the almighty Hemi-powered badge underneath, which correlated with my old truck, as well as my Dodge Challenger, which fits in here nicely. So as I said earlier, it's kind of nice because I can actually segue. When I say now I'm doing game collecting and I'm coming home, I can say, all right, now taking it into the garage or into the game room, and I can literally drive into the game room, which is a beautiful thing. But continuing on, then down in here I have like an old cassette case where I keep all my, you know, I don't have many, but I got a bunch of Sega Genesis games down in here. A lot of favorites, and Road Rash, and RoboCop versus Terminator, stuff like that. So it's kind of a nice little, kind of a two-tiered case in there where I can keep a lot of Sega Genesis games. Life is a Grand Adventure in Idaho, you better believe it is. There's my original late 60s Anheuser-Busch Budweiser sign that I got for painting a restaurant in El Segundo years ago. The little arcade plaque that I put up there. I had these other floating shelves in my other game room, and I put two of them up here and painted them gray to match the other shelves, along with the border on my Mad Max poster. Like I'd mentioned before, many of my things got badly damaged. Unfortunately, I was really worried about my posters that had gotten damaged, and it was really nice to finally have a place to put things. You know, so I was able to keep one of the Mad Max posters. The edges were damaged, so that's when I built this frame around it, painted it gray, and then I put kind of a matte clear over it to keep the reflections off it. So at least that's nicely framed. It really looks nice up there. I get this kind of a lavender, purplish, grayish color accent wall, which I'll kind of back up. You can see the whole thing. And it's above my desk. I got my original Wolfenstein cutout as one of the first art pieces that I made, my series of cutout, you know, gaming art pieces. This is our desk that we had refinished to get some damage, so the company paid to have the top of the desk refinished where it was all gouged up. And I put some of that new Philips Hue accent lighting behind the desk, and then as well as the Philips Hue light bulbs in my Coca-Cola lamp. So it's really cool. I can change the colors to purples, teals, reds, blues, any color I want. Lights up nicely behind my Destroy All Humans little collectible here. I've got a little cube there that I can plug in all my USB things and charge up, you know, my cameras and what have you. I've got one of my other brand new Xbox 360Es models right here. I've got the Ferrari Racing Legends, which I got factory sealed and ripped the factory sealing off just as quickly as I could. And I've got that playing on my 2009 650 series Samsung. This is the most expensive Samsung and the best one you could buy in 2009. The only one better than this was the 52-inch, which is now considered small by today's standards. But my God, the picture still looks great today on this. This is a wonderful TV. It's wonderful for gaming. What's nice about it, I've got the original manual here, is that you can actually have you've got all the component cables, so you can run component. You've got S-video and composite. You've got HDMI. You've got computer PC. So this TV does everything. And what's nice about it is that you can, I mean, this is back when TVs actually came with big, thick manuals. And so you can do a lot of really nice things with this TV. It's perfect. It's 120 hertz, really good for gaming, very low input lag. And it works great with a modded Xbox. I've had my modded Xbox and modded PS2 hooked up to this via component cables. I love this, you know, or you can go the pound cable or the Hyperkin HDMI setup if you wanted. But anyway, you can see I got the Destroy All Humans box up here. I've got my original PlayStation 2 box that my fat modded PS2 came in. My mother gave me that Gremlins thing years ago. It's one of the only nice things my mother ever did for me. And then I've got my Escape from New York. This is the original box. This Sideshow collectible came in. This, back in the old days, I played a lot of, and I've got boxes of them put away in my kitchen, but I've got a lot of these old Parker Brothers games, and this is one of my favorites. Unfortunately, it's a 3-player or more. Otherwise, I would be still playing this today with my wife. But it's called Dealer's Choice, where you could be a used car salesman. And it's really a fun game. There's just so many great games. This is before video games, where we played Monopoly and Stratego and Risk and The Magnificent Race and so many other wonderful board games at the time. There's my Terrability that I got from picking up my colossal, Wolfenstein 2 game, which now I can play thanks to my wonderful neurosurgeon that repaired my back. This was a pre-order poster that came with Mad Max. These are really rare. It came with this, and it also came with this little car, which I still have unopened, the little Mad Max car, which came with the Mad Max game. No one loves the game more than I, but yet I was denied beating it 4 times. I tried to get through it at 270 hours. So I've got an Xbox version coming thanks to my good friend Steve. And once it gets here, I'm going to try to replay it from the beginning and get through it a 5th time, and this time maybe beat it and have better luck on the Xbox version. Because I love that Xbox One X, and I can really see it performing well on that. This is kind of a you walk back and forth, and it's kind of like a hologram Star Wars thing where it kind of shifts depending on the angles you look at. It looks kind of 3D. And then I have my original Midnight pickup poster I got for, I got a couple of these actually, different ones, for going to the midnight launch of the GTA 5 in 2013. I still have that. Thank God, very cool. This is a really nice high-end monitor. I think it's a 120 hertz monitor that Cameron of Industrial Gamers sent me. Underneath you'll see the Batmobile. Since I'm literally in the Batcave now, I thought it fitting to have, this is a large-scale Hot Wheel collectible. These are worth a lot of money now. They're really cool, and it fits perfect on there with a red and black theme. And I got my old Asus AMD 10 PC, which still chugs, but makes my videos and what have you. So it's a nice little place, a nice little spot. I got my old Vanishing Point movie poster up there. I painted the frame gray to match, and that's the same, my friend Ham Toons that did my Airborne Ranger picture. Also did this, 1970 CUDA, really wild hot rod, kind of like indicative of the old t-shirts in the late 60s. This is my prized possession. This is an original United Artists poster that was in a movie theater that was actually, used in Los Angeles in Westwood in a movie theater. I paid hundreds of dollars for this, worth a lot of money. This is my favorite Woody Allen movie, and to me, the finest contemporary drama of all time next to Citizen Kane. This is an outstanding film. I can't recommend Interiors enough. I think it's from 78 or 79. A wonderful, wonderful film. Woody Allen did between 80 and 100 takes per scene to get it absolutely perfect, and it shows. A couple license plates underneath. This is my old 1985 Miami Vice when the TV show was hot and heavy and I was really into it. And I had a black Shelby Charger, brand new, that I bought. That was on the back of it. And then this is off my recent, big Hemi truck, which I took off when I sold it, my Z Mad Max plate, which I'll probably get a new version of it here, something similar to that, for my new Idaho vanity plates. There's an old Anheuser-Busch, kind of a domed, old-fashioned sign up there. That also has the special Philips Hue lighting, so I can change the color in that to purples and reds and greens. And then I have another one of those Philips Hue bulbs here, which kind of glows on this whole wall at night. I have some shots that I took early this morning before the sun came up of the garage with the main fluorescents off and just these lights on. It looks really cozy in here. And then I've got a Star Trek collectible. This is another one that kind of changes as you walk around it. It has like a different look to it. It changes. It's kind of a hologram deal. And I've got my daughter's old Scooby-Doo up there. This was the Shadow of the Tomb Raider little collectible plushie that I got from my friend Cameron of Industrial Gamer. That I got from Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland in Los Angeles. That skull, the top comes off. It's a candle inside. It actually glows. It's pretty cool. And this is my new bookshelf, so I can put all my 6 collection in here and then some. So I have all my original, I got well over 200 original Xbox games in here, all of my favorites, with few exceptions. I got a few Wii games and a modest supply of GameCube games, not too many. I've got some PS3 games here and here. And then I've got PlayStation 2 games across here. And then I've got all my Atari 2600 games here. I've got, just a few Super NES games, like, Outlander and what have you. And then I've got, starting my fledgling collection of N64 games. And I get the PlayStation 2 SOCOM headset, which you can actually play Manhunt and other games on and use the headset. There's a couple nice boxed Sega Genesis games. Here's my original Behind the Duke here with his Desert Eagle and Stogie. I've got the entire collection of the Vice City audio CDs from all the radio stations. I have every single CD in there. I still listen to those today. They're fantastic. And these are all my PlayStation 1 games that are not tall boxes down below here. Very proud of these. I love my PS1 collection. I love my PlayStation 2 collection, mostly of exclusives. And then I've got a modest PlayStation 3 collection, followed by all my, which I'm going to be doing a complete collection video soon of all my original Xbox games, which I cherish these. These are so good, and so many of these are backwards compatible and just look amazing. Underneath, I've got a little Nintendo shrine here with my wonderful Super NES. I've got one of the brand new Retro Fighter Brawler, N64 Brawler controllers with the new one back there. In fact, in behind here, my friend Michael from New York sent me, let me pull this out. This is a brand new computer chip program that he sent me. He had 2 of these made for himself and 1 for me, and it has, the old memory cards had problems with the batteries going bad in them. So they've got this new setup here where you don't need it. So now it's like a PlayStation 1 or an original Xbox memory card where you don't have to worry about the batteries going bad. So I've got that plugged in here. It fits perfect in the new Brawler as well as the other one. So now I can save my memory of all my games, which a lot of people overlook that when they get these N64s, which I didn't even know about. Of course, there's a wonderful N64, followed by a really clean GameCube, and then there's a backwards compatible Wii of Love, which you can play all your GameCube games on as well. And then I've got this is a very special shrine. This is a little wood table my wife was going to throw out. I sanded it down, spray painted it kind of a satin black, and I put, from Silver Wings 21 sent me this beautiful, very clean, well-working Atari 2600 with the wood grain, and I made a little shrine to it. I have this little Vader bust I put on the top, since it's kind of a 70s theme. And then I even have these 70s, 1976 Greenwood Corvettes, which are my favorite IMSA-style race cars from the 70s. So this is kind of indicative of my 70s, little 70s vibe here, little funk going on. So this is my wonderful shrine to the Atari 2600. I love this. I mean, just this room has really come together, and it's got lots of breathing room. There's nothing that's too crowded. You got plenty of room. There's my Wolfenstein cutout. There's one of my favorite movies, the Bullet film. I lovingly framed this. This is an autographed picture from George Barris before he died that I got from him at Barris Customs out in North Hollywood. Of course, the original 1976 Star Wars poster. I've got a little Challenger cutout underneath. Welcome to the Bear Den. It's a cute little thing my wife got from my garage out here. And then I even found an old Midnight Club 3 sticker that was inside one of my old Xbox deals, magazines that I stuck out here. So these are all I've got well over 200 Xbox 360 games. I got the Maxwell Payne 3 statue from pre-ordering it. I got the Bullet cars with the Assassins in it inside, and then followed by the Steve McQueen Mustang here. And this is the original mug that Mark at Classic Game Room actually used this mug to display when he first showed his mug and his new product line. And he told me that when he sent me, he said, dude, this is the actual mug that I filmed and drank beer out of. So really proud to have that in my Classic Game Room setup here. And of course, these are all my, my PlayStation, my Xbox 360 games, which I love and cherish. I have the little Miami Vice cars, which I got quite a while ago. It's a special gift from my friend Steve in Canada. This is one of those rare Danbury Mint, really expensive cars. It has a Hemi in it. You can see all the detail on the motor work, and it's fantastic. Just the detail on the roll cage and the Halon fire extinguisher system inside and suspension, everything works on it. Get a little Duke Nukem Forever bust, and this is from that Twilight Zone episode, which I had to have. Here's one of my 2 working modded Xboxes, and here's my modded PlayStation 2. So I can quickly hook these up to my TV up there and have a ball. There's another Danbury Mint collectible, the 1944, a little Alfred Hitchcock, collectible deal there, and then I've got more of my, Xbox 360 games. Nuka-Cola I got from my good friend Cameron of Industrial Gamer. A few more Xbox 360 games. There's that box for the Brawler. This I found this just recently. I hadn't seen this since I was a kid. This I did in 6th grade in 1974 during the election when we had Richard Nixon. And even then I was cynical. There's Nixon, thumbs down, thumbs up. And then it has over here Ford. And it says, really now, what's the difference? The American flag's all tattered and shot up. I mean, this is how cynical, this is where it shows my libertarian roots right here. And there's Gerald Ford. So you had a choice between Ford and Nixon. Of all the things to draw, this is what I decided to draw back in 1974 during the election. So, I mean, I've been very politically minded ever since, and I voted for Ronald Reagan back in the day 1,000 years ago. So I'm an old school, old school voter. But this is the game room. It's a little echoey in here. I put some rugs in to try to soften some of the noise, and I have another rug which I can put in here. I may move and put another one under here. I've got one rolled up over there. But we love it out here. It's just very comfy. There's lots of room. I can open the window, let fresh air in here. It's all insulated in here very nicely. So it gets warm in the summer, but not so warm that you gotta, have air conditioning on. You can just put a little fan out here and it's fine. So it's got plenty of room. Plenty of room. I got more than enough room for all my games, and I can certainly put more shelves if I really need them. I have more pictures over here, and I have some more Star Wars ones that I'm in the process of getting framed. So because I don't know where my cabinets are going yet, if they're going to just be on the back wall or they're going to be on that side wall, I don't know. So I'm going to wait and put these pictures up, and I have a couple more floating shelves to put up as well. So that wall and this wall I'm going to do last. So I'll probably have cabinets here. There's my wife's neon Betty Boop clock. This room in here is kind of what I call the engineering room, like on Star Trek. And I put the light on here, and so I just built these big metal shelves. This really tore my back up putting these together. This thing will actually hold like 4,000 pounds. And I've got all my heavy bins of heavy-duty tools, all my automotive tools. I could rip apart an engine, a transmission with everything I have in these boxes. These are all my automotive tools. I got saws, Hitachi chop saws, just all kinds of heaters and my blower and gasoline for my power washer, just shit like that. This is the big, it's like a nice quiet room, so you can shut this off from out here, and that way no one sees or hears the noisy furnace. So you have your furnace, you've got your hot water heater, the air conditioning is outside, and then when we first bought the house, we had this water softener unit put in here, which is these white towers. So this is a wonderful setup. It cost me a lot of money for this. It's well worth it. And down here, you can see I have hot and cold water hooked up to this hose, really high-end hose and spigot. So when I wash my car, I pull this hose outside, pull the car out. I can wash the car in the middle of the day. It doesn't leave water spots. It's soft water only. You put these salt tablets in those little white things back there. I got my airless and stuff down there too. And it's a beautiful thing. I got all my drop cloths for doing paint jobs here and extra fluorescent lighting, which I'm tempted to install if I need to. So I'm still working on this room. Still a little bit of organizing to do. But the beauty is that I can detail cars in here too. So I've got everything set up to washing my cars with soft water, so that way it leaves no water spots. Otherwise, that flat black on that hood would be ruined by now. So I love that. Plus when you take a shower too, you don't have all that, the calcium buildup on the faucets and what have you. And this is a lot of my artwork, which is hidden in behind here that I've been working on, plywood cutouts and stuff. So we're just going to get rid of these last few boxes and put these last few things in. My wife's car fits in here pretty good. This is like a $10,000 epoxy floor, which this home builder puts in every one of their garages. They're the only builder in this complex that does these expensive epoxy floor coatings and puts them in. So that's one of the things that we liked about this, and I just had that baseboard added on to make it look like the house. And I mop this out once a month. I'll mop it out nice and get it nice and clean in here. And we put down some area rugs. But yeah, we love this. It's just a great game room, a great place to play modded games. I can hook my PVR up here and do my game recording and future game reviews. So that's what this is set up for. It's just finally a room where I can work out here for doing my videos, for doing gaming, for doing game reviews, game impressions, and I feel right at home. I get everything I need. I got a little fridge out here. You know, I've got a little side door here. I can go outside if I want to break. Sometimes I just open this up and let the fresh air in, which is really nice. And they got a gate there. And then out here is going to be my jacuzzi. There's a big recess right in here behind this corner. I'm going to pour a big slab and then have a connecting sidewalk going to here. And then we'll have a big jacuzzi with a gazebo right out there, which is going to be nice. And I got a power washer there, and there's my AC unit outside here. So it's a wonderful little room. This has been a dream. I've wanted to get this done for some time. It's just taken forever to get it done and painted and fixed up and all the boxes unboxed and everything put away. And so I hope you guys like it. It's a novel idea, having a room that I love to work on cars. You know, my cars and my truck, I never got a scratch on them in the 11 years I had my truck. I keep them perfect. I like to wax and detail my cars out here, work on them. I like to be able to, you know, to go from that to segueing into gaming or playing some games or, you know, checking on my editing program while I'm in the middle of, you know, detailing a car or something or detailing my wife's car. I've got room out here to work on little art projects and what have you. And it's a beautiful thing. It's really a nice, fun place to be. And that's what this whole thing was about, is just having a nice space to live and to be comfortable in and to have room, you know, so I can breathe. I had no room before for boxes, for my games, for my movie collections. I get all my movie collections inside the house and all my game collections out here, which is really nice. So it's so nice to have everything in one place. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's something different I wanted to do. I know that it doesn't stand, you know, light a candle to all the wonderful game rooms that you'll see on YouTube that have every game and console imaginable. Eventually I'm going to be getting probably the Star Wars. It has the 3 Star Wars movies games. They have one of those one-up arcades. I want to put it maybe in that corner back there and get on the pedestal. And I'm definitely going to buy the Star Wars one-up arcade setup, and I'm dying to get that. Aside from that, that'll be the only console, the kind of an arcade type console I have out here. I've got room, I could put several of them out here, but I just want the one. And I'm going to be making more gaming art in the future, which I'm really looking forward to. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy your games.